So if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by clicking on the PayPal link in the description box. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Also, leave us a thumbs up. It helps us get more views.
But that said, the article's on Infowars.com by Dr. Jerome Corsi. Trump is looking at and preparing a pardon of Julian Assange. We told you a month before that it was happening with Arpaio. And now the biggest proof yet from our sources, we can't get into those, is the lawyers yesterday came in, if you just joined us, the president's lawyers on behalf of Roger Stone and the president, and said what Assange did is normal, it's in the domain, you can publish it, it's public interest, even if it was stolen by somebody else, showing where the real president's policy is going with this when he said, I don't care who's got this illegal stuff, it's Hillary doing the crime. With Dr. Jerome Corsi and Roger Stone right now, Trump is readying the counteroffensive to their attempt at civil emergency and martial law. It doesn't mean all this will be implemented, but it is definitely being prepared. And I've known that since before Trump even got elected, that they knew what was going to happen. And the criminals aren't going to give up. So the New York Times has gotten wind of this. That's why they said last week, it's Trump preparing a coup. But they're the ones trying to overthrow an election. They're the ones putting Homeland Security over, with Obama's executive order, over all the states. They're the ones preparing for that. So we have a duty to say no to this globalist takeover. Don't we, Roger? Don't we, Dr. Corsi?
Absolutely.
So.
Go ahead, Roger.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Well, no, I think absolutely. This is, I think you're exactly right. And I want to point out the article I wrote today on Assange and the case building for Assange. Trump's lawyers now by the way, Roger Stone's case was brought by this Project Democracy. Trump's lawyers have gone to the U.S. District Court in Washington and argued that Julian Assange had a right to publish all of those emails from the DNC, even if they were stolen. That's out of the New York Times v. Sullivan case. And
this is so huge. So if you're wondering what Trump really thinks about WikiLeaks, this is it.
This is it. In Roger Stone's case, last week, Trump sent his attorneys into the U.S. District Court to argue that Julian Assange had a right to publish those emails, even if they were stolen. And WikiLeaks also published yesterday definitively rebuking this Nara Tandine, who heads Podesta's Center for American Progress, that Russia was not involved. I mean, I think the case is building for a pardon for Assange, and we now have Trump's lawyers on the record as saying there was no crime committed.
And by the way, not to toot horns, but you're the guy that actually got it at the White House, you and Roger, with the Arpaio stuff. Arpaio doesn't give me credit. It was the show. It's you guys. So, I mean, that's why they're so freaked out and really clamped down on the White House when we got the news to Trump. He didn't even know that this had happened to Arpaio.
Well, it was critical. I think it was a great team effort because I've been following the Arpaio case for years, and we were able to get a direct line into Trump to let him know that Sheriff Arpaio at age 85, 86 is being sent to prison on a criminal misdemeanor. It was completely an egregious misuse of law by the Obama Justice Department.
So that said, we can announce here at the Telegraph that evidence is building, mounting, that the president is now positioning for a Assange pardon, despite what Pompeo and others are pushing.
I think that the president's going to rebuke Pompeo and Sessions on this. I think that Assange is preparing to actually get out of asylum, coming out of the Ecuadorian embassy. I think this week we're going to find some announcements coming out from Assange, but the case is being built very strongly by Trump's own attorneys before the U.S. District Court that Assange did nothing wrong. And if he's done nothing wrong, then why shouldn't he be free not to worry about U.S. Legal apprehension or arrest? He should be a free man and free to get out of that embassy and go about his business.
Wow, that is just incredible. Roger Stone?
Yeah, it's very hard to understand the dichotomy of thought regarding Julian Assange inside the Trump administration. Donald Trump, during the campaign, praised him and said that he loved WikiLeaks. Yes, Julian Assange publishes classified information that has been purloined and sent to him. So does the New York Times. So does the Washington Post. So does the Associated Press. That's what journalists do. Why Pompeo and Tillerson and Sessions believe he's a criminal, they've never been able to verbalize. What law is it he has broken?
I mean, it's just crazy. And even the nation said, this is a witch hunt. This has never been done before. Russiagate is devolving into an effort to stigmatize dissent. You scroll down, it shows Roger Stone right there, just putting his hand on his head, how ridiculous this is. Even CNN said this weekend that Trump is right about the FBI and this being a witch hunt. So they're hedging their bets right now as this thing burns down. But that said, the article's on Infowars.com by Dr. Jerome Corsi. Trump is looking at and preparing a pardon of Julian Assange. We told you a month before that it was happening with Arpaio. And now the biggest proof yet from our sources, we can't get into those, is the lawyers yesterday came in, if you just joined us, the president's lawyers on behalf of Roger Stone and the president, and said what Assange did is normal, it's in the domain, you can publish it, it's public interest, even if it was stolen by somebody else, showing where the real president's policy is going with this when he said, I don't care who's got this illegal stuff. It's Hillary doing the crime, whether it's some guy in a basement of the Russians or WikiLeaks, release it. And said, good job, WikiLeaks. So this is amazing. Let's right now get about a 2-minute comment from each of you. I just want you to recap this, Roger Stone and then Dr. Corsi. And we'll put the article up that Corsi wrote for Infowars.com on screen that everybody needs to spread. Here it is. Go ahead.
Roger, do you want to go ahead?
Sure. In my view, this is a landmark development because it has always been perplexing as to why some members of the Trump administration kept insisting that Assange is anything but what he is, a journalist. He is not a Russian asset. WikiLeaks is not a Russian front. Doesn't matter how many times John Brennan and James Clapper want to repeat that lie, just repeating it does not make it true. I was stunned when the entire front line of the Obama NSA, Clapper, Brennan, Rogers, Rice, and these other globalists actually filed a legal brief in my case, reiterating and recycling their same old garbage about how the Russians interfered in our election. No proof, no evidence, just rhetoric, their usual tactic.
They could have put, they could have had a amicus brief of Tweedledee and Tweedledum or Grimm's fairy tales or other works of fiction.
But it does show you the importance that they put on this case. And Jerry's right. The lawyers for the president and his campaign now arguing that Assange is merely acting as a journalist and that there's nothing illegal in his actions does lay the groundwork. Let's be very clear. General Kelly will oppose a pardon for Julian Assange. Rex Tillerson will oppose a pardon. Mr. Pompeo, the head of the CIA, will oppose a pardon. Jeff Sessions will oppose a pardon. Here's the good news. Donald J. Trump is his own man. No one tells Donald Trump what to do, particularly when he sees right and wrong.
All right. Thank you, Roger Stone, Infowars.com reporter. I can't wait for the new intel you get, my friend. Let me finish up with Dr. Corsi as we get Joel Salente of the Trends Journal on with us. Going back to you, Dr. Corsi, just recapping how big this is, because, again, you're the guy that first published and told us of the other pardon. This is what needs to be done. We know they're telling them, sir, I know you're not doing anything wrong, but if we encourage leaking, others will leak inside the government. And then what are you going to do when you've pardoned a leaker? Well, he's not the leaker. He got the info that was leaks. He exposed criminal actions. And so we should point out this is criminal information. This is not missile secrets. If somebody does that, we'll execute them. Once they have their trial. I mean, there's a big difference here. And I think this is something the president must do if he's an honorable man.
Well, and having the attorneys for the president go into federal district court and argue that Julian Assange did nothing wrong. He had a First Amendment right to publish these stolen emails from the DNC. Now that's on record. That's where the White House statement is. It can't be taken back.
And there's court rulings, the Pentagon Papers as well. This is well known.
Precisely. And in fact, that's right. The president and his lawyers are correct. Now, what Donald Trump, I think, is realizing, why I think this pardon is in the works, is because Assange also has the basis for saying that the Russian collusion was nonsense. Because Assange has said, even within the last 2 days again, that he definitively did not get the emails from Russia. he said over and over again and hinted it's Seth Rich that got him the emails. And I think that's been proven. But you've got Donald Trump and Julian Assange on the same page, now with Trump's attorneys on December 29th making the argument in a brief filed with the U.S. District Court in Roger Stone's case. And again, this is something Roger and I and InfoWars have been pushing since last year. This is a major breakthrough for getting the truth out about this whole Russian collusion nonsense.
It is.
It was an invention, I believe, of John Brennan and the Democratic Party, with the assistance, by the way, of Eric Schmidt and Google. And that's another thing we broke. And, again, we have intelligence not only in our own sources, but it seems to be backing what this QAnon is publishing. And I've been writing about it extensively. I think we've got major intelligence breakthroughs coming through in the background, and we're just seeing
That's right.
the first signs of it.
That's right. So get next week's news today at Infowars.com and Newswars.com.
Hey everybody! I just wanted to break in real quick for an Operation Hal Info Warrior update. Many of you thousands of Operation Hal subscribers are passionate patriots. We can tell because of the comments that you leave in the comment section. But America needs more than just passionate comments from anonymous subscribers. America needs info warriors who are willing to spread information. Believe it or not, us patriots, we are beginning to win the info war. We are on the march and the enemy is on the run. They never anticipated this explosion of social media. The bad guys who are behind the scenes attempting to destroy our republic, they didn't realize that platforms like YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook would give voice to those of us who haven't been fooled by the fake news, Project Mockingbird, CIA-ran media. Patriots like you and me now have a level playing field to take part in the war for the soul of our nation. And the good news is, we don't even have to use guns. We can simply use our home computers and laptops, just like I'm doing right now. In fact, the Operation Hal YouTube channel has reached over 73,000 unique individuals just this month. So if you want to get off of the sideline and onto that playing field, we at Operation Hal want to help. We have helped over 18,000 individuals just like you. Learn how to create and distribute content online. It doesn't matter if you're a novice with computers or a pro. Operation Hal is willing to train you for free in our simple techniques that will allow you to have a voice in our nation. So if you're interested in our free online training, you can email me, Mackenzie, at operationhal@gmail.com. Send me a brief description of why you want to join the info war. And make sure you put in the subject line, I want to be an info warrior. As soon as we get your email, we will contact you back with further instructions. We look forward to hearing from you soon.
If you're interested to learn how to create content and spread content, we'll show you how. Go to the Operation Hal YouTube channel, click on the About button, and then click Message. Send us an email. If you want to engage, become an info warrior, we will train you up.
If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon below the video to get notified when the latest new content drops.
Keep us in your prayers. We get a lot of resistance for putting these videos out, but to Yahweh be the glory.